This is how we get our garlic ready for planting. It doesn't matter whether it's elephant or if it's regular. It doesn't matter that the stalks are on. We just break it apart, get the loose skin off, and we put it in the container. And as we go through this process, it's the same with elephant or with regular. And I've got a garbage bag to my left. I put the stalks in, which we will put in our compost pile. And again, you just break the toes apart, get the skin off, the dry skin off as much as you can, and just throw them in the box. Later on, what we're going to do is we will sort this by size, planting the biggest first and continuing until we have no more room. In the foreground here, you see elephant bulbs. These elephant bulbs, well, the elephant toes sometimes will grow into this. It looks like an onion, but you plant these and the following year you're guaranteed to get elephant heads. Today is Thanksgiving 2012. We're thankful that the weather is so warm. It's in the 40s, supposed to go up to the high 50s today. This bed you see here has got 683 regular garlic in it. We have a little bit further to go on it towards the back side, but it's still pretty mucky. The bed next to it, we have started to make the furrows. The first two rows are made. Again, you can see it's pretty mucky. And I started the other two. Now I'm going to start making the path. We currently have 1,683 planted. Now we're going to hopefully get in an additional 1,400 or so, 1,400 or so today. I'll show you how I make the path. We use a shovel. I know there's 1 furrow, 2 furrows, 3 furrows, 4 furrows. And we start just by taking the loose dirt, putting it side to side. Just about. We like our paths 18 inches wide. We'll use about 1.5 of the shovelful width. It's a nice path. Keep on doing this until you get to the end of the road. We're still dealing with the effects of Sandy. We had so much rain, and this time of year the ground does not dry out real quick, so it's still kind of mucky. There's the furrows we just made and the path we just made. Here's an overhead view of it. You can see what they're supposed to look like. Path, furrows. Now we will continue this all the way down this 30-foot row, or at least until we start sinking in. Now it's time to put in the amendments. We use compost. This year we're using compost, 5-10-10 fertilizer, and bone meal. The compost we get from our county solid waste recycling facility. And I'll show you how it's done. These are the furrows we've made earlier. We take 2 bags, 40 pounds from the compost facility. That'll do approximately 2 30-foot rows of furrow, roll of furrow. Just take your shovel, put the tip down, and just kind of shake it as you go along. It gives you a nice even distribution of your compost. I'm shortening this up some because I'm not going to bore you. Watch me fill 30-foot furrows with compost. This is done quick. Next step, you put in the 5-10-10. Normally Diane does this, but she's a little camera shy. You just shake it in. So this is not going to be perfect. Store the bone meal in the 5-10-10 in plastic coffee cans. The lid seals pretty tightly so no moisture gets into it. Now for the bone meal. This is the fun part. If it's a windy day, it really takes off on you. Sprinkle again. So. Then we'll mix it in with the hoe. Let me show you on this row. Compost first. Five, 10, 10. Bone meal. Then you'll take your hoe and you'll just chop it a little bit to mix it in. Again, this ground's a little wet, but we've got to get 1,400 in today because tomorrow the weather changes. We're back to our normal November, so there you go. See if I can get an overhead shot for you of what that looks like. The first furrow is the one that has the amendments in it. Well, the compost and the 5-10-10. Second furrow shows you the bone meal added. And the third one shows you it mixed in and ready for planting. And the fourth one shows, well, it has to be, the amendments have to be added. As you can see, we've placed the bulbs in our 4-inch deep furrows. We've added the compost, bone meal, and the 5-10-10. We've also placed bulbs in between the furrows. This is to save space. Now what we do is we push them down one at a time. Yes, like this. Then the root side of the bulb is down, by the way. We take the soil, over it. Then we pat it down with our hand. We want to get firm contact. And then, perhaps the most important step, we get the shredded leaves and place them over it. Looks like we got a little bit of grass in these, but about that deep. And then you just continue down the road. Keep doing the same thing, about 1,500 times.